All right, well, we will start things off in Atlanta, where the Hawks and Heat are in action tonight. Heat are a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Total here is 222. This series 2-0 in favor of the Heat. They've been dominant in those first two games, but Atlanta has shown that they're pretty good at home this season. So, Josh, what is your take in this game?
Yeah, I mean, we see this angle so often, and it's one that I will continue to basically play on, and that's a team 2-0 down, coming home and putting in their best effort. Ultimately, this is the decider in the series. I mean, the reality is you're not going to go down 3-0 and win the series, period. So this is the game where everyone leaves everything on the floor. There's no excuses. You get an extra level of intensity on the defensive end in particular, and I think that's kind of what they need in this matchup. Offensively, I think there's still issues for Atlanta to an extent. They shoot the ball tremendously at home in terms of their splits versus what they do on the road. And I think that can go a long way in itself, because they were competitive last game, but they still didn't shoot the three particularly well. And if they can get that going at least for a certain duration of the game and allow themselves to play from in front for large portions in front of this home crowd, I think that carries pretty big weight in this meeting. So for Miami, I mean, they don't really need to do much to change things and to get the job done, probably in 5 games, I think, most likely. But this is the game where everything sort of screams towards Atlanta returning home. They've been terrific in their first game home all regular season, and I know it's a completely different environment and situation here, but some things still ring true. Some teams still wait to come home off of a road trip. And that first, especially the first 24 minutes of the game, they really put their best efforts in. And that is exactly what I anticipate in this game. I think the Hawks, like I said, offensively, as long as they get that 3-ball going, they did show some things in game 2 that I like. They found range from mid-range and the floater area, especially when Miami went to a zone defense. And, the Heat are going to roll that out again at some point. And if the Hawks basically identify that pretty quickly and go back to just penetrating and playing mid-range jump shots, they're going to have a lot of success there. And as soon as they do, that's, again, when it opens up the floor for them elsewhere. So for me, I love Atlanta first half. I love Atlanta full game here. I think this is the spot where they come out, they get it done. Like I said, the first 24 minutes of this one, they'll have that extra intensity. There's that buzz around the arena as well, which carries a lot more weight, I think, than some people are willing to sort of put credit towards in the playoff environment. And I think they hold on for the full game ultimately down the stretch as well. This is the one where they get one done. It's game 4 where I'd probably look to buy back on the Heat, to be perfectly honest, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's lock in Atlanta for today. First half and full game in this one to get the job done.
Trae Young had a really poor shooting performance in game 1, a lot better in game 2. You can imagine now being back at home, where, as you mentioned, the Hawks shoot much better, that he should have a big game tonight, especially if they want to extend this series a little bit more. Chris, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, riding along the same narrative that Josh is. I think the Hawks are going to at least control the tempo in this game for the first half. They're going to need to, right? I mean, if the Heat try to slow this down, they're still behind their home crowd, and it's really the only chance I think that the Hawks have of beating the Heat is when they control the pace and when they play small ball and when it's a lot of perimeter shooting, right? And that is what the Hawks do really well at home. They're second overall post All-Star break in offensive efficiency. Their pace sticks up at home. And for what it's worth, Bam Adebayo is a little banged up right now. I don't think there's any chance that he doesn't play tonight, but he is officially questionable. I think it's a bruised knee or something like that. Bam's a pretty tough guy, and I'm sure that he's still going to bring an A+ effort. But if that shores up anything for the Hawks in the paint, that's only a good thing for them. Obviously, Clint Capella being out too makes them a smaller lineup. But again, I don't think that's a bad thing for the Hawks. This is a really good pure shooting team, a really good pure perimeter shooting team. And if they're going to want to hang with the Heat, they're going to have to play their style of basketball. So I like the first half to go over, and that's because a lot of the same reasons that Josh offered. Hawks kind of controlling things, having extra momentum, and maybe a little bit more motivation at home too to appease their home crowd. So I think Trae Young has a lot better game too.
All right, well, both Chris and Josh in sync on their picks for this game. Chris is playing the first half over, and Josh is playing the Hawks in the first half and the full game.